Xiao Yin refined the great Bodhisattva return pill. Swoosh! Xiao Yin swung his hand through the empty space in front of him after taking out the Bodhisattva seed, and many medicinal ingredients continuously flew out of his storage ring. In the blink of an eye, they piled together in the air above his head. At a glance, there were at least 1,000 of them. Such a number of medicinal ingredients caused the surrounding alchemists to feel speechless. Xiao Yin ignored these people's surprise. His hand gently pressed against the air. A large number of medicinal ingredients was separated from the pile above before they were swiftly thrown into the medicinal cauldron. They were devoured by the fire dragon within the cauldron. The mound of medicinal ingredients in the sky formed a line under Xiao Yan's control as they continuously poured into the medicinal cauldron. Within a short couple of minutes, a frightening energy wave spread from the medicinal cauldron. This energy wave caused the surrounding space to slowly fluctuate. This large number of medicinal ingredients has surpassed the amount needed to work with the Bodhisattva seed. Could it be that he is not refining a Bodhisattva pill? But why is the majority of the medicinal ingredients similar to the ingredients required to refine a Bodhisattva pill? Xin Kongzi frowned and muttered. Yao Lao and the other two could only slowly shake their heads when they heard this question. They were also unaware of what Xiao Yin was planning to do. Now, we can only wait until the end, the few of them sighed. They suppressed their doubt in their hearts and began to pay full attention to the competition. The commotion that Xiao Yan's pill refinement had stirred might have been great, but not everyone's eyes were fixated on him. This was the small pill tower. It had gathered all of the extremely well-known alchemist gurus in the Central Plains. Their standards were high since the alchemists besides Xiao Yin were all extraordinary individuals. The sound of wind and lightning accompanied their refinement as a powerful aura formed around them all. If this competition were to be held in the Central Plains, many alchemists would become intoxicated by it. Other than Xiao Yin, the person who caught the most attention among the many alchemists was Old Demon Ho. Regardless of how unlikable he was, no one doubted his ability to refine pills. Being able to nearly snatch Yao Lao's pill-gathering champion position was sufficient to describe his talent in pill refinement. Moreover, the current Old Demon Ho was no longer the young man of the past. After so many years of training, his medicinal refinement ability had undoubtedly soared. Hardly anyone even in this small pill tower could surpass him. This Old Demon Ho had the highest chance of winning in this elder selection. At this moment, Old Demon Ho was fully focused on his medicinal cauldron. A couple of medicinal ingredient rings continued to rotate around him. Occasionally, some medicinal ingredients with a rich energy would be thrown into the cauldron, after which they would quickly be refined before they solidified. The many steps were performed with great familiarity. His motions revealed a grandmaster demeanor. The eyes of the 7 elders on the stone stage slowly swept over the square and finally nodded. Looks like Old Demon Ho is very likely win this time. An elder looked at Old Demon Ho's demeanor and involuntarily laughed. The few other elders around nodded after hearing his words. The medicinal refinement skills of Old Demon Ho were not inferior to these elders. The linen-clothed first elder did not speak with them. Both of his hands were withdrawn into his sleeves as his calm eyes swung to where Xiao Yin was located. There were extremely few people in recent years whom he was unable to see through. This young man called Xiao Yin had given him this feeling for some unknown reason. This feeling gave him a sense of foreboding. This selection would likely have a dark horse appearing. Pill refinement, especially the refinement of high-tier medicinal pills, usually required a long period of time. It was extremely common for alchemists of Xiao Yan's level to take 10 days to half a month to refine a pill. The surrounding alchemists were well aware of this, so they did not display any impatience. Instead, they watched the many cauldrons with great enjoyment. An outsider merely watched for its entertainment value, while those within the trade observed the skills involved. Other people might feel impatient while watching a pill refinement competition, but it was extremely interesting for these alchemists. Time flowed by and 5 days passed in the blink of an eye. Some chaotic energy fluctuations spread from quite a number of medicinal cauldrons, causing many medicinal essences to be destroyed. However, no one felt disappointed about failing. Failure was something only too common to those present. No one could guarantee that they would maintain a 100% success rate. Even Xiao Yin was unable to say such a thing because his failure rate during these 5 days had been quite high. He had destroyed 3 cauldrons of medicinal ingredients. There were different reasons for each failure. Fortunately, after experiencing 3 failures, Xiao Yan's refinement had become more smooth and much faster. He had gained a lot of insight from his failures. After these 5 days, everyone began to get on the right track. The number of failures also fell. Another 5 days passed, and the medicinal cauldrons of some alchemists began to show the figure of an embryonic pill. The surrounding energy fluctuations also became more intense. Following the flow of time, the atmosphere within the open ground had become more solemn. Everyone could sense that the most interesting part was approaching. Bang! Dark clouds suddenly gathered in the sky, and lightning swiftly danced through them like silver snakes. A moment later, layers of colors gradually surfaced on the clouds until 7 colors were visible. The colors slowly stopped on the 7th color. 7-colored pill lightning. If this had occurred in the Central Plains, it would have attracted countless numbers of shocked eyes. But many people present shook their heads when they saw the 7-colored pill lightning. It was obvious that this result would not enable one to obtain victory because they had already seen 5 7-colored pill lightnings over the past 3 days. Another 7-colored pill lightning! Xin Kongzi looked at the pill lightning in the sky and laughed. Old Ling seems a little depressed. Yao Lao smiled. He glanced at the old man who had summoned this 7-colored pill lightning. At this moment, Old Ling was helplessly shaking his head. Clearly, he was not satisfied with this result. Shinny smiled as she nodded. Her gaze shifted to where Xiao Yin was located and softly said, "It seems that this little fellow is the calmest person present." Yao Lao bitterly smiled and inclined his head after hearing this statement. Some of the faster individuals had managed to summon pill lightning already. Those who were slower had already formed the shape of an embryonic medicinal pill, but there was not even a slight reaction from Xiao Yan's cauldron, but there was no anxiety on his face. No one knew whether he was calm or putting up a brave front. Old Demon Ho should be able to successfully form a pill in 3 days. If I have guessed correctly, he should be refining the Flame Demon Quiet Mysterious Pill. If he successfully refines the medicinal pill, he will definitely attract a 9-colored pill lightning, Xin Kongzi informed everyone. The medicinal refinement skill of this old fellow has significantly risen over these years. Yao Lao nodded slightly as he replied. If Xiao Yin wishes to beat him, he must refine a Tier 9 medicinal pill, but regardless of how one raises the level of the Bodhisattva pill, it is impossible to break through to the 9th tier. Xin Yi commented. Although Xiao Yin had relied on an external object to raise the quality of his medicinal pill during the pill gathering, it would not work this time. After all, the 9th tier and the 8th tier were 2 completely different concepts. He has his own plans. Yao Lao hesitated for a moment, but a sentence was all that he could reply with. However, he was a little inwardly anxious. The medicinal ingredients that Xiao Yin was using for this refinement did not match either of the Tier 9 medicinal pills he had given Xiao Yin. In other words, unless Xiao Yin possessed another Tier 9 medicinal formula, he was off doing something random. 3 days passed in an instant. Currently, only a handful of people were still refining within the open ground. Most of the remaining people successfully attracted pill lightning and then withdrew. The eyes of everyone present gathered on 2 individuals. Those 2 individuals were Old Demon Ho and Xiao Yin. Everyone had already identified Demon Ho's medicinal pill. If that medicinal pill was successfully born, it would attract a 9-colored pill lightning. It would be the strongest pill lightning that had appeared in the selection. Xiao Yin, on the other hand, had attracted gazes because of his strange actions. His medicinal cauldron had not revealed signs of an embryonic medicinal pill since the very beginning. There was only a fire dragon that danced inside the cauldron, but they were unable to sense any medicinal pill fluctuations from this fire dragon. Bang! A low, loud sound was suddenly emitted from the sky, while everyone was feeling puzzled. An extremely powerful energy fluctuation suddenly spread. Immediately, clouds began to gather in the sky with lightning-like speed. Old Demon Ho is about to successfully refine his medicinal pill? Someone exclaimed after seeing these clouds form. Old Demon Ho stood up in front of many pairs of eyes. His dead-man-like face revealed an ugly smile. He laughingly glanced in Xiao Yan's direction. Both of his hands were placed behind him as he looked at the thunderclouds in the sky. The thunderclouds churned a couple of times before revealing 9 colors. It is indeed a 9-colored pill lightning. Everyone involuntarily exclaimed after seeing the colors. "Ha ha, Yao Qin. It looks like this elderly self is victorious this time around." Old Demon Ho looked at the thunderclouds. A moment later, he turned his head, looked at Yao Lao in the crowd, and coldly laughed. Yao Lao involuntarily frowned after hearing his words. He was just about to speak when a faint laugh appeared. That may not be the case. Old Demon Ho's face sunk after hearing these words. His eyes looked for the source of the voice. Xiao Yin, who had kept his eyes shut, slowly opened them at this moment. The surrounding pairs of eyes contained some surprise as they shifted to Xiao Yin. They had not expected Xiao Yin to utter such words. "Junior, trying to win verbally here will not benefit to you." Old Demon Ho looked at Xiao Yin and coldly laughed. His eyes once again swept over the fire cauldron in front of Xiao Yin as he spoke, yet he still failed to sense a medicinal pill fluctuation. A faint mocking smile flashed across his eyes. Xiao Yin merely grinned as Old Demon Ho coldly laughed, after which he slowly stood up in front of many pairs of eyes. Buzz! The fire cauldron in front of Xiao Yin suddenly emitted a slight vibrating sound as he slowly stood up. This is... Many people revealed surprised face upon seeing him stand. There is a slight medicinal pill ripple being emitted from the fire cauldron. The linen-clothed first elder on the stone stage suddenly spoke in a hoarse yet calm voice. The remaining 6 elders revealed shock in their eyes upon hearing his words. Even with their abilities, they were unable to sense a thing. But none of them doubted the first elder. Many surprised eyes were immediately thrown to Xiao Yin. A mere trick. Old Demon Ho was also slightly startled because of this vibration. However, he quickly frowned and remarked. Xiao Yin acted as though he did not hear these words. He slowly lifted his hand and aimed it at the fire cauldron from a great distance before suddenly clenching it. Roar! The coiled fire dragon within the fire cauldron suddenly emitted a clear roar as Xiao Yin clenched his hand. Its body swiftly swelled in front of many pairs of eyes. Bang! The fire cauldron was not able to last after the fire dragon swelled. It emitted a loud bang and exploded. Hot waves of fire explosively shot out in all directions. In an instant, it caused the temperature of this mountaintop to soar. Some of the closer alchemists hurriedly stepped back with altered expressions. Roar! After shattering the furnace, the body of the fire dragon swelled until it was thousands of feet long. It lingered in the sky as a terrifying pressure spread apart. Even the clouds of the 9-colored pill lightning began to show signs of shrinking. Junior, what are you planning to do? Old Demon Ho's heart sank after seeing the 9-colored thunderclouds show signs of shrinking. He immediately let out a stern cry. Noisy! Xiaoyan's expression turned cold. His eyes suddenly shot toward old Demon Ho. A cold cry that contained an extremely powerful pressure exploded beside his ear. That pressure shook old Demon Ho until the blood in his body churned. He staggered back. Despite his alchemy skills, his strength was at a level that could be killed by a random strike from Xiaoyan. You! Old Demon Ho was extremely startled and furious after being forced back by Xiaoyan's cold cry. Only at this moment did he realize that Xiaoyan's strength had far exceeded his expectations. Xiaoyan did not go overboard after shocking old Demon Ho, since this was still the small pill tower. Those elders would not be pleased to see him attacking old Demon Ho. He immediately regained focus and looked at the extremely large fire dragon in the sky. His hand seals changed, forming many after images in the process. Fire dragon agglomerating pill. After a continuous chain of seals were formed by Xiaoyan's hands, the fire dragon in the sky continuously emitted an earth-shaking dragon roar. At the same time, a shocking energy fluctuation suddenly spread from the fire dragon's body. This is medicinal pill fluctuation? A stunned expression surfaced on the faces of many alchemists after they sensed this fluctuation. They had not been able to feel even a little of this fluctuation over the last few days. Using a fire to form an object and hide the pill inside. It is the method of creating an object to deposit the pill in. Old Yao, even you do not possess this ability, right? How has Xiaoyan learned this? Xin Kongzi cried out in shock when he sensed the medicinal pill fluctuation that slowly scattered from the body of the fire dragon in the sky. This, Yao Lao opened his mouth. He could only bitterly smile as he shook his head. To create an object to deposit a pill inside required one's flame control and spiritual strength to reach a level that was extremely hard to achieve. A normal alchemist, including him, would not dare to use this method. He had not expected Xiaoyan to master it by himself. While Xin Kongzi's group was feeling amazed by this scene, there were some other alchemists who had discovered the pill refinement technique Xiaoyan had used. Exclamations rose like a wave. The number of people present who had the ability to use this pill refinement method did not exceed 5. Yao Chen's disciple is really a little incredible. The few elders on the stone stage looked at each other and softly sighed. Bang! As the fluctuations emitted from the fire dragon's body became more intense, a loud and clear rumble suddenly echoed across the sky. Everyone could sense the mountain dim as clouds swiftly gathered from all directions. The clouds that were gathering were not gray thunder clouds. Instead, they were an extremely deep black color. Black clouds spread across the sky. Despite the absence of rumbling thunder, everyone's soul seemed to tremble as they looked into those deep black clouds. They seemed to be able to suck one's gaze in. The 9-colored thunderclouds above old Demon Ho's head swiftly shrank as the black clouds spread. It appeared as though it had met something terrible. What kind of thunderclouds are these? They are able to scare the 9-colored thunderclouds. The eyes of many slightly shrank upon seeing this scene. A frightening thought surged into their hearts. The only medicinal pills in this world that can be more powerful than a Tier 8 medicinal pill, which could attract 9-colored pill lightning, was a higher tier medicinal pill. Above Tier 8 was the legendary Tier 9. This Xiaoyan is actually refining a Tier 9 medicinal pill? At this moment, even these extremely experienced alchemist gurus revealed interesting expressions. Black Demon Lightning. It has been many years since I have last seen you. That linen-clothed first elder lifted his head and muttered to himself as he looked at the black clouds in the sky, which had filled with a strange aura. Xiaoyan's eyes were also grave as he stared at the churning black clouds in the sky from the open ground. He could sense an extremely dense annihilation force in these clouds. This kind of energy was many times stronger than that of a 9-colored pill lightning. The layer of black clouds continued to churn in the distant sky. The entire square was completely silent. There were no thunderous roars, but it was precisely this dead silence that caused one to feel terrified. 10 minutes after the black clouds had continuously churned, a circular spatial hole suddenly formed in the middle of the clouds. The hole was still completely black. It appeared like an extremely deep black hole. Goosebumps suddenly formed all over Xiao Yan's body the moment this virtual hole appeared. A monstrous aura finally swept out of his body without holding back. Chi. An unusual sound was emitted from the hole after Xiao Yan's aura soared. Soon after, an arm-thick black lightning violently shot out. It quietly rushed toward the fire dragon below. The surrounding alchemists revealed shocked faces when they saw this black lightning. It did not appear large, but they hurriedly pulled back. Xiao Yan's eyes stared at the black lightning, which caused even him to feel some danger. He flicked his finger and 5 golden light figures rushed out of his storage ring. Sky demon puppets, which could absorb pill lightning, suddenly appeared in the sky above the fire dragon. Bang! The black thunderbolt flashed and appeared above the head of the first sky demon puppet before striking its body. This time around, the sky demon puppet, which had never failed before, instantly stiffened the moment the black lightning touched it. Its hard body emitted a bang and was shattered into dust. Bang, 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 bang. After the first sky demon puppet was destroyed, the 4 remaining sky demon puppets were unable to effectively block this bolt of lightning. Their bodies stiffened the moment they touched a little of that black thunderbolt before they were blasted into dust. This was the first time Xiao Yan had seen such a thing after all these years. Xiao Yan's expression became very solemn after he lost 5 sky demon puppets. He did not take out any more sky demon puppets. It was clearly impossible for the sky demon puppets to absorb the destructive energy within the black thunderbolt with their strengths. He had to act personally. Who? Xiao Yan gently exhaled a breath of air within his heart. He stepped forward with a foot, and his body appeared in the sky above the fire dragon. He lifted his head, and his dark black eyes watched the black bolt of lightning rush toward him. Xiao Yan slowly clenched his hand as he watched the black thunderbolt approach. After clenching his hand, the energy around the mountain seemed to have been pulled by something as it gathered onto his fist from all directions. An elite Doshang could control the natural energy within a certain area. A Doshang was able to rely on this energy to create a destructive attack even after their bodies had been exhausted of Do Qi. This was the most terrifying aspect of an elite Doshang. Break it! Frightening energy gathered on Xiao Yan's fist. A crystal-clear brightness flashed with a dazzling luster. Subsequently, a fist was ruthlessly smashed against the black thunderbolt in front of many startled eyes. Bang! Upon collision, a frightening destructive storm immediately swept out in all directions with man and lightning at the point of origin. The entire sky seemed to have turned into shattered glass as it was blasted apart with a cracking sound. A short distance away, the colorful pill lightning above Old Demon Ho's head was torn into nothing by this terrifying storm. Old Demon Ho's expression had become unusually interesting as he stared at the sky, which had instantly become empty. Rumble. A frightening energy storm wildly raged in the sky. Everything within a 10,000-foot radius turned black at this moment. Space itself had collapsed because of this frightening clash. The expressions of most individuals changed when they saw the black space in the sky. Even though they had lived for many years, it was still extremely rare for them to see a clash of this magnitude. All of them understood that with their strengths, they would not be able to endure for even a short moment if they were to be struck by that energy storm. Even their souls would be shattered by it. That Xiao Yan dares to fight against the black demon lightning. The few elders on the stone stage involuntarily muttered in stunned voices after seeing Xiao Yan throw a punch. That Xiao Yan is an initial 1-star Doshang. It should not be too difficult for him to deal with a black demon lightning. The linen-clothed first elder glanced at the sky and spoke in a faint voice. This black demon lightning might not be as numerous as a Tier 9 pill lightning, but its strength is extremely terrifying. Even an elite Bansheng would not dare to carelessly receive that strike from earlier. 1-star Dosheng? The 6 old men felt their hearts tremble after hearing the linen-clothed man's words. Although they had already inferred Xiao Yan's strength, their hearts were involuntarily shocked when they heard the first elder verify it. They had trained for many years before finally reaching the Bansheng class after much difficulty, yet this Xiao Yan had surpasses them at such a young age. They really had no choice but to admit he was superior. It looks like Xiao Yan is going to be victorious in this selection, an elder sighed. If this happens, they will have the advantage regarding the matter of the alliance. The alliance might be against the Pill Tower's rules, but one must do what is necessary at the appropriate time. The Hall of Souls is powerful, and there is the Hun clan behind it. Searching for allies is a plausible solution for the Pill Tower to survive. The first elder was quiet for a moment before speaking. Tower rules, tower rules. There will only be rules if the tower exists. If even the tower disappears, what was the point of talking about any rules? Everyone looked at each other after hearing the first elder's softened voice. They could only slowly shake their heads. The raging energy storm in the sky continued for over 10 minutes before slowly scattering. Following the scattering of the storm, the space that had collapsed began to gradually heal itself. Warm sunlight once again scattered down from the sky onto this mountain. Many pairs of eyes returned to the sky after the storm scattered. They saw a young man standing there. That frightening energy storm from earlier was unable to cause him even the least amount of harm. Xiao Yan's tensed body slowly relaxed as he sensed the disappearing storm in the sky. He clenched his fist. A numb feeling spread from it. The strength of the black demon lightning had somewhat exceeded his expectations. From his contact with it earlier, Xiao Yan understood that his fate would not have been any better than the 5 sky demon puppets had he not advanced to the Bansheng class. Is this the pill lightning that is attracted by a Tier 9 treasure pill? It is indeed powerful. Xiao Yan inwardly praised. However, this black demon lightning did not exist in large quantities despite its shocking strength. Hence, the thick layer of black clouds in the sky slowly disappeared after a couple of black thunderbolts erupted from it. Roar! The fire dragon below suddenly roared at the sky the moment the black clouds scattered. A glaring light suddenly exploded from its enormous body. A shocking energy wave erupted from its body. Bang! This energy fluctuation became wild and violent. In the end, the fire dragon let out a roar. Its enormous body burst apart in front of many stunned pairs of eyes. A ray of light suddenly surged out of the fire dragon's body once it burst apart. This ray of light flew toward the sky, escaping the flames that had trapped it. Trying to escape? However, Xiao Yan loudly laughed the moment this light rushed out. His body flashed and appeared in front of that ray of light in a ghost-like fashion. His large hand grabbed at the light. Roar! That light ray rapidly swelled as Xiao Yan attempted to grab it. In the blink of an eye, it turned into an extremely large, ferocious beast. Its huge claw was accompanied by a sharp wind as it slammed toward Xiao Yan. Bang! The large, ferocious beast let out a miserable roar following the clash. Its huge body quickly flew back. Xiao Yan smiled after sending that huge beast flying back. He then chased after it again. An intense light once again erupted from the body of the huge beast when it saw Xiao Yan hurrying over. Its body quickly shrank, and in the blink of an eye, it took on a human shape. The light disappeared and Xiao Yan quickly became stunned because another Xiao Yan had appeared in the sky. Interesting. Is this a Tier 9 treasure pill? It can actually transform into a human shape? Xiao Yan involuntarily smiled and shook his head after seeing this human shape. If this Tier 9 treasure pill was allowed to flee, it might really end up becoming a strange and mysterious thing. Of course, another more likely scenario was that some other expert would sense its uniqueness and subsequently capture and consume it. Although a Tier 9 treasure pill possessed some intelligence, its strength could not fight with an expert like Xiao. Roar! The Tier 9 treasure pill that had turned into Xiao clearly did not know the human language. Hence, it could only roar at Xiao. This unexpected change also attracted many strange gazes. Even the alchemist grandmasters present had difficulty coming across a Tier 9 treasure pill. Hence, they felt a little amazed when they saw the medicinal pill transform into a human form. Haha, this little fellow has actually successfully refined it, but I wonder what kind of medicinal pill it is. It is impossible to refine a Tier 9 medicinal pill without any medicinal formulae. Xin Kongzi laughed. Yao Lao shook his head. He did not recognize this medicinal pill that Xiao had refined. The only thing that he could pick up was the hint of the scent of the Bodhisattva pill within this medicinal pill. However, this medicinal pill was many times stronger than the Bodhisattva pill. Xiao did not get entangled with the Tier 9 treasure pill in the sky. He found an opportunity to clench his hand and lock the medicinal pill in place. After which, he swiftly hurried forward and pressed his hand on its forehead. The body of the Tier 9 treasure pill swiftly trembled. Its body quickly shrank before it turned into a round emerald dragon-eye-sized medicinal pill. The medicinal pill stayed suspended within Xiao palm. Layer after layer of pill fog spread from the medicinal pill before filling the surroundings. At a glance, it boasted an exceptionally mysterious appearance. Xiao began to slowly descend from the sky after restraining the Tier 9 medicinal pill. His eyes glanced at old Demon Ho's volatile face of fury. At this moment, Demon Ho held a fiery red medicinal pill in his hand. He had undoubtedly lost to Xiao. Will the both of you please introduce the medicinal pill that you have refined? An elder laughed after seeing Xiao land on the ground. Flame Demon Quiet Mysterious Pill, a 9-colored Tier 8 medicinal pill. If a person practicing Fire Affinity Do Chi consumes it, there is a chance for one's Do Chi to undergo a transformation and increase one's fighting strength. Old Demon Ho lifted the medicinal pill in his hand. His tone involuntarily contained some pride. Regardless of whether he won or lost, being able to refine the Flame Demon Quiet Mysterious Pill proved his ability. A medicinal pill that could transform one's Do Chi was not something that everyone could refine. Xiao, what about you? Xiao gently lifted that emerald medicinal pill. He smiled and began to explain, Great Bodhisattva Return Pill, a Tier 9 treasure pill. Its effect is similar to that of a Bodhisattva pill. However, it merely increases the chance that a Bodhisattva pill provides in breaking through to the Banshan class by twice as much? 2 times as much? How is that possible? Xiao explanation immediately attracted many exclamations. Oh! After hearing Xiao words, even the face of that first elder slightly changed. Breaking through to the Doshan class was a well-known and extremely difficult obstacle for an elite Dozun. A countless number of top experts remained stuck at this step. They would fail to step to the next level even at the end of their lives. It was precisely because of this inability to advance that those peak Dozuns would go crazy for a Bodhisattva pill. The original Bodhisattva pill possessed close to a 20% chance of success. Now that the chance of success had increased by 2 times as much, the success rate had raised to over 50%. In other words, just a single great Bodhisattva return pill would provide a peak Dozun with a 50% success rate. If word of this were to spread, many peak Dozuns' eyes would turn red. They would stake their entire fortune to get to the Falling Star Pavilion and beg for this pill. This great Bodhisattva return pill was considered an upgraded version of the Bodhisattva pill. It was a medicinal pill that Xiao Yin had comprehended after an unimaginable number of trials during his 100 reincarnations within the Bodhisattva tree. This medicinal pill could only be refined by Xiao Yin since he possessed a heavenly flame and had experienced being strengthened by the Bodhisattva heart. Even if someone else learned this medicinal formula, it would be impossible to increase the effect of the Bodhisattva pill by such a frightening extent. The only unfortunate aspect was that this great Bodhisattva return pill needed to be refined with a Bodhisattva seed as the main ingredient. Xiao Yin had less than 10 of these natural mysterious objects in his hands. Xiao Yin, you ought to know that any false claims at this moment will lead to you being disqualified. An elder hesitated for a moment before notifying Xiao Yin. Elder, you can rest assured that Xiao Yin will bear the consequences of any false claims. Xiao Yin laughed in a faint voice. Those few elders exchanged gazes with each other after hearing his reply. In the end, they could only slowly nod their heads. In that case, the linen-clothed first elder glanced at Xiao Yin as he finally spoke. The tier of the great Bodhisattva return pill has surpassed that of the fire demon quiet mysterious pill. The final victor of this selection is Xiao Yin.